Good day. This is Doc with Adventures in Africa with Doc. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're having a great time here in Iowa. It's summertime in Africa. It's cold and it's wintertime. And I'm very happy to be back here in America. Really enjoying my time here. We've been doing lots of biking and meeting with churches and some of the best friends of our ministry. And today we have Phyllis Childers, who's been a friend of mine for so many years. I can't even tell you how many years. Maybe she knows, but it's been a long time. Phyllis and I have traveled to many countries all around the world, and she's been to Africa with us a number of times, loves our ministry, and we love her, and we just want to have a chat today. So, Phyllis, welcome to Adventures in Africa. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, let's just hear from you, because people always are hearing from me, but take me back to some of the early days. How did we meet?
Well, it's been a long time, 50 plus years. I was a real estate agent, and I caught my finger on my real estate sign and pulled it nearly off. And Dr. Blessman sewed it back on for me, and I still have the stitches to prove it.
Wow.
So that's been a long time ago. And you saved my husband's feet from cement poisoning, and you delivered my first granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
So
what a history.
We've been friends for a long time, and my first mission trip was to Africa, and I think that was probably with you also. And I can't remember how many years ago that was when we went to Nairobi, Kenya, but probably 25 plus, I would imagine.
I was actually scheduled to go on that trip, but my office was so busy I couldn't get away. So I was scheduled, and then I couldn't go.
Okay.
But we've been to a number of places together, and I've always enjoyed traveling with you and just experiencing places all around the world and doing it for God. When you travel for missions, it's different than if you travel as just a tourist. Are there some other trips that you remember that you want to talk about today, or do we jump right into Africa?
Well, let's talk about some of the others first.
Sure.
I've been to Dominican Republic, Belize, Colombia, Chile, and I think Belize was one that pops into my mind a lot. Back then was a long time ago, and we also had glasses from the Lions Club.
Yeah.
And I happen to know that we had a really strong pair while I did eyeglass ministry. And there was this older gentleman that really couldn't see much of anything. And I knew we had these glasses and gave them to him. And he started crying. He could see. And he said, "This is the first time I've ever seen my wife." And I'll tell you, that really pulls at your heartstrings when you can bless somebody like that. And he was an elderly gentleman. I don't remember how old, but that was wonderful. And every mission trip is different. Nobody, or I can't say anyway, that there's a favorite, because they're all favorites in some way.
I remember that Belize trip.
Yeah.
And one of the kind of humorous parts of it was a team that had a construction component to it, and it had the medical component to it. And you and I were on the medical team. And I think a friend of ours, David Russell, was on the medical team with us. And we would finish a little bit early in the day. We'd finish at 1 o'clock or so. And Belize is a beautiful country, and there were some beautiful beaches. And I had packed my swimsuit along. And so when we finished with the optical work, we stopped at the beach and enjoyed some time at the beach. And we started doing that every day, but we didn't tell the construction people.
That was pretty cool. Every day, wear your swimsuit under your clothes. We're going to the beach.
Yeah.
Dave switched pretty fast, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Construction to medical.
Yeah. Yeah. Once they found out we were doing it, they were very jealous that we were getting to spend 2 or 3 hours at the beach, and they were sweating and doing hard physical labor. But it was fun. I've enjoyed every mission trip I've done. So
remember that trip too? We had a driver that
Oh, she almost killed us.
It was a miracle. And, you think God doesn't care about us, but I think that day he proved that he does care about us. You remember well.
I was sitting in the shotgun seat, and this young lady, she's probably 19 or 20 years old, missionary associate, and she was just driving so wild and crazy and fast, and the roads in Belize where we were at were terrible. And then these big logging trucks, and she was passing a vehicle. I think she was passing a logging truck, which was going to take her a little ways. And then another car was coming head on, and we nearly died in a head on crash. And so those are memories that weren't quite so fun.
But the amazing thing, I went to a party after we got home, and this one lady said, Phyllis, she said, God spoke to me one day at 10 o'clock, and she said, you need to pray for Phyllis Childers. And that was the exact day and the exact time that this was happening. And God does care about us, and that's proof. I mean, I've never had anything like that happen before. The exact time and the exact day that somebody said, God's just said, you pray for that person right now.
Yeah, the power of prayer is the older I get, and Phyllis and I are the same vintage. We've had a lot of birthdays.
But, a lot more days behind than ahead.
But the older I get, the more I believe and trust in prayer and appreciate it. We have people all over the world praying for us, and we know that is one of the big reasons of the success of Blessman International. Well, let's get into Africa, South Africa. You've been there a number of times. Tell us some of the things that you've experienced there and some of the things you really have been excited about and just what's on your heart.
Well, I think the first thing is what they say, if you ever get African soil on your feet, it never comes off. And I'll swear that that's true. I've been to Africa 7 times now, Cameroon, and like I said before, Nairobi, Kenya, and I've been to your place 5 times.
Wow.
And it's pretty amazing. Just what you do for people, and a lot of my mission trips in South Africa, of course, have been Days Matter, Days for Girls Kits, whatever you want to call them, but they're the feminine hygiene kits. And not only does it empower the girls, but the teachers too love to have those kits because they do last for so long and they're reusable, so it saves them a lot of money too. And everything you do there, they're so appreciative, and they don't have the opportunities there that we have in the United States. So it's very, very rewarding. And to get to know your staff over there, and when you go back, you feel like you're going home. And last time when I went down the driveway to your complex, after 5 times, I thought, Lord, I'm coming home. And it's just a feeling that I don't have words to express. I know the staff there, and I love them. I love the people. We've met the teachers, we've met the principals, superintendents of the schools, and it's just amazing how much they do appreciate us. And most of all, I do appreciate how you are respected over there. When you mention Dr. Blessman, people's eyes just light up and there's a smile on their face. You're so well respected, and it humbles me to be a part of that ministry.
Well, Phyllis, we love you and we appreciate you so much. And, you mentioned the optical ministry, which is amazing. And we always do that with teams, or try to anyway. And the menstrual hygiene project, that is just, it's a ministry that is really going to grow tremendously because we're getting around to many churches in America. And most churches have a women's group that get together, and some of them sew. And they want to provide these products for impoverished girls in Africa that are missing school and all kinds of things because they don't have the hygiene products that they need. And so it's been a ministry that's been fun to watch. We just partnered with a new group called So Powerful, and they have a program where they sew beautiful cloth purses that the girls put their menstrual hygiene kits in. And so we've been distributing 2,000 to 3,000 kits a year for probably 6, 7 years now. And I can see with this new program, we can go up to 5, 10,000 kits and bless many more girls. And the beauty of the future is that we're going to be raising some money to pay our African ladies to sew the kits. And so it creates jobs that they are actually taking care of their own people with that. So it's an exciting program. We call that our Girls Empowerment Program. I know you're also quite interested in the water and sanitation that our son Dustin does. Dustin loves to work with you fellows. And tell us a little bit about your experience with Dustin and your involvement with the water projects.
Well, Dustin's I like to think he's one of my adopted grandsons because when I first met Beth, she was pregnant with Dustin. So that's been a long time ago, too. And that's pretty special. And he is one fabulous guy. I've watched him grow up and mature and turn into a wonderful, God-fearing man. And it's just really a pleasure. And his heart is certainly in what he does over in Africa. I have great respect for him in doing that. And the Lord has blessed my husband and I, my husband's been gone now for a long time, but I've been privileged to go over there. And the Lord's blessed us financially, and I've been able to provide some wells and toilets over in Africa for the kids. And the last trip I went over there, they dug a well that I had provided, and it humbles you greatly to know that God has provided through me to do that, not only for the kids at the school where it was, but also for the community. And I just thank God for that privilege that I got to be there and see it. And it was very inspiring for our team also to see that. And I know there was other people saying, well, we could do that too, So that was just really neat to see that. And the little kids, just to think that they're so well cared for, but they'll be better cared for, and the community too, because of the water. And that just humbles me greatly that I had that opportunity to see that.
Yeah, the Africans have a saying that water is life, and the whole continent of Africa is just short of water. And we've drilled, I think, about 85, maybe 86 wells to date. And it just changes lives. It changes communities. And between you and Hy-Vee, we're drilling lots and lots of wells. Hy-Vee is one of our big friends, and they love our water project. They've drilled or they've funded, I think, about 50 wells now. And they're actually going to be sending a media team over to South Africa in October to document and tell the story of what they're doing. So watch for that when you're shopping at Hy-Vee, and find a manager and thank them for what they do for people all around the world. Hy-Vee is an incredible company. Not only do they help us with the water projects, they've actually donated probably about $700,000 over the last several years. And they do this through their One Step Water Project. But they also support our feeding program by their support to Meals from the Heartland through, I think it's their One Step cereal program. So incredible Iowa company that just helps us so much. Our water project is probably one of the best water projects of any mission group in the world, because now when we drill a well, we also put a water meter in, and we put a SIM card in that water meter, and that communicates with our website, and then it also communicates back to the donors how many gallons of water their well is producing each week. And we're up around 30 million gallons of water that we've provided. And so we can document what we're doing. And not only is it important for the donors, that system that we have now will let us know if the water project fails. If some reason it quits producing water, the Africans, a lot of times in the past, they would just tell people it is finished. And it may need a $50 part or just some little mechanical fixing. And now we know when it stops working, we go check on it and we fix it. So it's an amazing way that we do that. Also, when we do a water project, we put in a garden. and we irrigate that garden. We teach the local people how to do the agriculture. And just recently we started adding chickens, and we give them a few layers. And that's a big thanks to Highline, which is a West Des Moines company. They provide the layers for us. And so when we work with, and we're mostly working with preschools, and when we find that they've been getting our food from Meals from the Heartland and Convoy of Hope, now they get a well, they get a garden, they get some chickens, and we also usually build them a toilet. In fact, we always build them a toilet if they need one. So it's kind of a complete sustainable project that we do, and very exciting, lots of fun. What else have you enjoyed when you would be traveling, Phyllis, or just anything that's on your heart?
Well, one thing I would like to say is that the granddaughter that Dr. Blessman delivered got to go to Africa with us 7 years ago, and her 13-year-old daughter went with us. And I think it was life-changing for both of them to see not only my heart for the missions, but also what they learned and experienced there. And I think for my great-granddaughter, it will be life-changing. And it was just such a miracle that they got to go and see things through their own eyes that they've heard their grandma talk about. And I just thank Blessman International for the opportunities. And I guess my prayer is, I've been on 11 mission trips. I'd like to go on one more to say it's a dozen. So
we will.
I'm kind of old now, so I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but that's my dream. So,
well, Phyllis,
thank you.
The way we make that happen is get it scheduled.
That could be.
If you want to do something, get it booked, and we will do it. You bring up the mission trips, and for 20 years now, my wife Beth and I have been living half time in Africa, and we've hosted, I think, around 1,300 short-term missionaries. And it is life-changing when an American comes to Africa and they do mission work. And one of the joys that my wife and I have is sitting around the African campfire after a day on the mission field and hearing what God's doing in the hearts of people that are visiting. You know, people come on a mission trip thinking they're going to help the local people and the children there, and they do. But they don't realize how much it's helping them and how much it changes their own life. And a lot of those changes happen at the end of the day, each day, when we ask people to reflect on what God's doing in their heart while they're there on the mission field. And when you see all of these needy, beautiful African children, and you see them getting sustainable long-term relief and help, and the biggest help is helping them to become followers of Christ. And we've been very effective at helping children to become followers of Christ. My early mission trips, we did a lot of proselytizing, and we would get people to say the sinner's prayer, and then we get back on the plane and go to the next place. And that got to feeling like, well, maybe we really weren't changing life and bringing people into the kingdom. But when you move someplace and you stay there for 20 years and you watch a whole generation of children grow up, you know for sure that many of them and most of them are truly becoming followers of Christ. And that's what the ministry is all about, is just populating heaven. And Phyllis, people like you are so helpful to us and just encourage us and make the job easier and just enjoyable. I love what we're doing, and I often say I have the best job in the world, and I truly believe that. So thank you, Phyllis, for your participation. Thank you for coming in today, and I think we should do it again after your next trip to South Africa. So let's see if we can make that happen.
Thank you.